I'm going to show you how to multiply a fraction by a fraction when both factors are greater than one whole using an area model. My equation is 1 and 1/2 times 2 and 1/3. Of course, we're using an area model, so I need to know how many holes I need to represent for each length and width. So I look at my first factor, which is 1 and 1/2, and I know that 1 and 1/2 requires that I will need 2 holes in order to represent it. So I can't just use my one green hole here. So I'm going to make 2 holes and put them on top of each other. And this will represent my 1 and 1/2. Next, I need to represent 2 and 1/3. I know that I need more than one hole. And actually I need more than 2 holes because I have 2 holes here and 1/3 more. So that means I need 3 holes total. So I will go ahead and represent that here by adding a hole there and another hole this way. However, I can't find the area of this with length times width unless I fill in all of it completely. So you can see that when I need to represent 2 and 1/3 as my width, I need 3 holes. And for 1.5, I need 2 as my length. So I have a total of 6 holes in order to represent everything that I will be doing. Next, I can go ahead and partition just like I would for any other multiplication problem involving fractions with an area model. I can see that the 2 is my denominator, so each hole for my length will be partitioned into 2. Partition all these holes by half and all of these by a half. And then I can highlight what I have. I have 1 hole and a half, and I have that all the way across. And that represents my 1.5. Now I need to partition the next one. My denominator here is thirds, so I will partition each hole into thirds. So this hole gets partitioned into thirds, this hole gets partitioned into thirds, and my final hole gets partitioned into thirds. And then I look at how much do I have there. I have 2 and 1/3, so I will 1 hole, 2 holes, and then I have 1/3 of a hole. In red, I will outline the parts that overlap each other. That is this area here. Now, in order to find my numerator, I know that I can go ahead and count all the equal parts that are within that area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 parts. So I know if I have 21 parts, that is my numerator. My denominator will be how many equal parts was each whole partitioned into. I know that these are thirds going this way, so I know that this is 1/3, this is 2/3, and this is 3/3. So I know that this is where one whole ends. I also know that this is partitioned into halves. So coming from the top here, this is 1/2, this is 2/2. So my whole is represented right here. So I can count how many pieces was one whole partitioned into, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So I know my denominator is 6. And now I can go ahead and convert this into a mixed number. How many times does 6 go into 21 evenly without going over? It can only go in 3 times. That equals 18. And if I take away 18 from 21, I am left with 3. And my denominator stays 6. My answer is 3 and 3/6, or 3 and 1/2, because 1/2 is equivalent to 3/6. And that's how you can multiply two fractions greater than 1 using an area model.